I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Memorize everything you say.
That sounds, yeah.
Power on this thing? She's got to be in the cradle. There's a slide button on the side, on the right hand side. It was on, I tested it.
It's number one?
Yeah.
Probably number 20.
I don't see anything on that screen.
Unplug it.
Yeah, the classic plug and unplug.
The slide on the side isn't working, right?
That's not my favorite.
But we'd still get recorded on
If YouTube's working, we'll be okay, but if this,
the, right as a backup. We can use our phone.
yeah, but if YouTube doesn't work, this is the first time this has ever happened in 7 years, so.
Can we add that to the temporary budget?
Exactly. I tested it before the meeting was on.
Program sound bad.
That's going in the budget.
Well, I guess
That's gonna have to go in
it's
the
gonna
budget.
have to go in the budget.
There you go.
Toasting here.
Yes.
Yeah, I moved the
Plug
plug.
in, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the plug is on.
Got nothing. We have to go with YouTube.
Well, it's,
Sorry.
keep fingers crossed that that works.
Okay. All right. I call to order the Wickliffe City Council meeting November 25th, 2024. Sandy, please call the roll.
Bella.
Here.
Gerhardstein.
Here.
Jaworski.
Here.
Koski.
Here.
Levon.
Here.
Saloto. Here. Thielman.
Here.
Approval of council minutes. Councilman Gerhardstein.
I make a motion that we allow Councilwoman Slow to abstain from voting on the council minutes from November 11th, 2024.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilman Thielman. To allow Councilwoman Saloto to abstain from voting on the meeting minutes of November 11th, 2024. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Bella.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Koski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Councilman
I
Gerhardstein.
make a motion we approve the council minutes from November 11th, 2024.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilman Thielman, that the council meeting minutes of November 11th, 2024 be approved as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Bella.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Koski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Abstain.
Thielman.
Yes.
Reports and communications from the Mayor Safety Director.
Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to welcome our new Assistant Service Director. Comes highly recommended from Shea White, Service Director. Next year at this time, we will be down 2 gentlemen, Ron included, that have a combined years, over 80 years. I won't mention that guy's name, but he's almost got 50 years. And so the thought process is, I want somebody in here management experience to elevate not just the service director, but the service department. And with that said, Ron Strouser, service director, 38 years with the department. He worked up to director. He is the multitasking champion. Everything that came across his plate. Very sad day at the admin meeting, just losing him. You had things handled, Dave. You do an awesome job, but it was great having you here, great working with you, and he took great care of Wickliffe. And I sincerely want to thank you for everything, and we'll have something for you at the end that we'll do for you as well. The turkey hunt was this past Saturday. Great turnout despite the weather. Thank you to Luberzall and sponsors, and glad to be able to feed some families here in Wickliffe. The holiday lighting this Friday, 29th, and that is sponsored by Wickliffe Forever up here at City Hall. And then the snowfall came in fast and furious. Not because we still got leaf season fall. So it can be hard to keep up sometimes coming down so fast. But they did a great job, and when everybody woke up in the morning, their commute was perfect. So just wanted to say thanks to the service department for that. That's all I have.
Any questions or comments from the mayor, safety director? Mayor? Reports and communications from the director of law.
Nothing to report.
Any questions or comments for the law director? Councilman Hardstein.
Have you ever got a response back from the law director about the deer hunting?
Mike, and I have the ordinance here. So I know the question was related to some Wickliffe properties that abut Willoughby Hills properties. And so their ordinance allows for that bow hunting under special circumstances, generally where that person on that property is requested to have somebody come do it, and they have to get a special certificate from the police chief. And they have to be at least 100 yards from the end of whatever property they're at and 100 yards from any houses, dwellings, outhouses, anything like that. Was there a particular concern about one of those people that there was some deer hunting allowed in that property next to them?
No, they were concerned
That it,
what the Hills had planned if the Willoughby Hills resident shot a deer and it came over into Wickliffe, what the legality was going to be about retrieving that deer.
about the Wickliffe person retrieving the deer?
No, the Willoughby Hills resident.
Deer. Do we know if there's any deer hunting allowed in property that abuts there?
Well, the resident in Willoughby Hills, that's where it started. There was a blind in Willoughby Hills abutting the property in Wickliffe.
So they want to know specifically what to do if somebody came onto their property? To
No,
get
the residents seen the hunting blind into Willoughby Hills and questioned what happens. It was more of it, the resident in Wickliffe wanted to know what happens if the Willoughby Hills resident shot a deer in Willoughby Hills and it came into Wickliffe.
Right.
And if you
Yes.
the deer? Okay, I'm still waiting on a call. I talked to Mike a little bit, talked through this, got their ordinance, talked about what the rules were, how they get it. And he is supposed to call me back. I have not heard back yet, so I'll make sure to talk to him again and see what would happen in that instance. So the main concern is the dead deer going into the Wickliffe property and the person coming to retrieve it. I mean, they wouldn't technically be allowed to trespass on the property. That would violate our ordinances, and so I would say that would still
I
probably
think this is new for both
trespassing.
cities, so it is something that is, it probably needs to be, hunting season, both season probably goes for another first week of February, I don't know.
September 28th to February 2nd.
Right. So Chief Bush and I both bow hunt, so we both understand that, but in the future, if we'll be able to continue that, it's probably something we need to know for.
Probably something we need to work through with them a little bit, what we would do, because the threshold issue there would be if that person went onto the other person's property, there's trespassing regardless of this particular ordinance. So it would still be a trespass.
Councilwoman Saloto.
Thanks. So I had a question actually from, tell me about how many yards it has to be, because I had a question from a resident on Delaware Street where their backyards are Willoughby Hills, but there's a lot of land back there, so I'm just wondering.
So it's like 100 feet. It's 100 feet perimeter of wherever they have been authorized to hunt in. So if they're authorized in a 3-acre area, they have to stay within 100
Of
feet
that
of
area.
that.
But
And
so
then if
they-
there's any dwellings, any types of buildings, any streets, anything, they have to be at least 100, actually 150 feet from streets and things like that, 100
the
feet
street-
from any
What about from the
house.
homes? Like,
100 plus 100 from the end of whatever the hunting area is, but they also have to go to the police chief to get a certificate to be able to do it.
okay. Because that was the question, because, you know, their backyards abut, and they were concerned that there was going to be shooting of deer in their backyard.
Yeah, so they have to have a certain amount of distance, they have to get a special certificate from the police chief in order. So it's not just, because otherwise it is prohibited in Willoughby Hills. You have to go to the police chief, get a special certificate for a particular area during a particular time, all that kind of stuff.
So did they let the residents that in that particular area know there's going to be?
That's the other question I asked Mike, and that's what he's supposed to be getting back to me.
Because that would be nice then for the people in Wickliffe that are abutting that to also be notified.
Yeah, I don't see anything in the ordinance about notification, but that could be part of their administrative guidelines with it.
Yeah. I
Still
think
waiting to
just
have
on
a
that.
fuller conversation with Mike, but I asked him generally those questions, and I could ask him the trespass piece, but again, that would be under our ordinances, and there'd still be trespassing if they went on their property, even if they were allowed to be bow hunting.
If you could check on, yeah, about notification. People are letting their kids play in their backyard, and then the backyards are.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be an ongoing
Yeah.
conversation. Maybe the chief and I will talk to him together and see what all the parameters are around it to keep the surrounding city, because I'm sure there's properties, but other cities too, so they may be having the other
Right.
questions too.
Okay, great, thank you.
Councilman
Well,
Harrison.
actually, sir, can I get a copy of that whenever you?
Yeah, actually, you can have
That's all. I want to explain to the resident that.
Yeah.
Just call.
Just a follow-up question, is there the date and time range, listed on the
No,
ordinance?
that's a state law, the actual date. I think that might say during deer season, but it doesn't season listed because that's a state regulation, what the actual season is. Because technically they have another ordinance that completely prohibits doing that, no matter what. Then they put this in for very limited circumstances, ostensibly to reduce the deer population. And generally, the beginning of that actually speaks to residents requesting somebody to come do it because they have too many deer in their yard. But obviously then that comes out somebody else's yard. So I'll find out a little bit more about the trespassing piece of it, and if there is any kind of notification, and if there's not, maybe that's a conversation the chief and I can have with them about something that they can do.
Any other questions or comments for the law director? Thank you, Jimmy. Communications from council president, I have none. Any amendments or additions to the agenda? I'll add the new business be organizational meeting, or 2025 organizational meeting. Any other amendments or additions to the agenda? If not, we'll move on to minutes. Chief Bush.
Thank you, Council President Levon. I have nothing further to add besides the report that was submitted.
Any questions or comments for the police chief? Thank you, Chief. Fire Lieutenant Mann.
Thank you, Council President Levon. Chief Grossman did ask me to comment on the 21st snowstorm. He did want to let everyone know that starting at 6 p.m. on the 21st, the department answered 6 calls related to the storm over the next 24 hours. We did recall off-duty personnel counting 79 hours of overtime. There were no serious injuries reported, and we did want to thank the Wickliffe Service Department for keeping the roads open so we could respond to all of our calls. So, thank you.
Any questions or comments for the lieutenant? Finance Director Hunter.
Thank you, Council President. October is now closed, and the general fund carryover balance was about 7.7. And I just want to take a moment and thank Ron for his years of service to the city, and congratulate him on his retirement. I'll miss your phone calls.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hunter. Engineer Formica.
Thank you, Council President. One thing to add in my written report, we had a pre-construction meeting with the Sunset Development contractor this morning, or this afternoon. The service director and assistant service director were there, as well as kind of went over what we expect of them in the city of Wickliffe as far as keeping the roads clean. And they plan on starting clearing and grubbing at the end of this week, on Friday. So mobilizing and bringing equipment in. Want to start it up. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions or comments for the city engineer? Thank you, Pete. Service Director Strouser.
Thank you, Council President. Did want to touch on that snow removal. You know, we got 8 inches of snow. It was a little bit unprecedented for this time of year. We did have all the trucks ready that we could have ready because the other ones were all tied up with leaves. I wanted to thank all my mechanics. We had 8 guys here all night long. They were 8. We had 4 big trucks out, 4 small trucks. We only had 3 trucks ready. I called it up. We slammed out, fixed the truck, and got another one ready, and we had everything cleaned up by the morning. Service department did a great job. I just wanted to thank them. That's it. And then I just wanted to say thank all you guys. It's been a pleasure working with you guys for all these years, and thank a few certain individuals. Some guys, made our job, kept us on our toes. Over the years, I appreciate that actually. And then I want to thank the mayor for having my back, through and most of it's been good. And I want to say thank you to all that. They appreciate it.
Councilman Bill.
Yeah, I want to thank you too, Rob, because nobody knows really how much you do, how many little things you do. The residents don't even know. You do so much there, and I'm glad I worked with you. Happy retirement. I'm glad you're still a little young and enjoy your barn.
I will, thanks.
Councilwoman Koski.
Thank you for being responsive all these years. When I call, I know I will have whatever it is resolved in a quick and timely manner. And I've just appreciated working with you. So good luck. I hope you enjoy retirement.
I will, hopefully.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Salota.
Ron, I just want to thank you. You're amazing. You've always been amazing. In fact, I remember the very first day I met you, it was right before you took over as head, and I didn't realize exactly how soon that was going to be, because we didn't know exactly. And I just remember you just reaching out and just going the extra mile for me. It was a celebration here. You went the extra mile and did all kinds of things that we need done just without anybody even asking. And I just thought, God, that guy's great. And then it turns out that you get to be our service director and you were wonderful. Just always responsive. You're just a good guy, and you're a lawyer because I'm your age.
Went to school together.
And I don't, yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Any questions for the service director? Councilman Gardstein.
Thank you. Appreciate everything.
Councilman Jaworski.
I guess I'll go now instead of wait till the resolution. But Ron, thank you very much for all your dedicated years into the city of Wickliffe. It's been a pleasure working with you. I appreciate the effort that you put into the residents to help them out. You always served the residents, and I know they appreciated that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilman Thielen.
I just want to chime in too, but it's kind of special. We went from kindergarten on through school. Pete too, graduate. Maria, it's fun that so many Wickliffe residents have come back to serve the city of Wickliffe in such a fine capacity. And Gerald Crossman always spoke so highly of you, your ability as a mechanic all those years. So I'm just congratulations. I kind of wish I was with Maria retiring too.
We're annoyed.
We're the same age, so. But yeah. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Ron, I am going to wait till the resolution. Any other questions or comments for the service director? Thank you. Commissioner Sack.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I'd just like to echo everybody else too on Ron. There's so many kind things above and beyond for residents that we're going to miss, and I know what he's done, and I could go on and on, but thank you, Ron. It's been a pleasure. Welcome, Ron.
Any questions or comments for the building commissioner? Thank you, Rick. Recreation Director Stop.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Also want to echo the congratulations to Ron for your years of service, and pleasure working with you. I do have one comment. I was able to meet with the Snyder Recreation for the Orlando playground equipment with director and assistant service director this morning, and they are ready to go next week. So we should have a new playground within a week, depending on what they get into. The site is pretty much ready to go. So we should be good. That's it.
Any questions or comments for the Recreation Director? Councilman Hartstein.
Tim, have you filled the recreation, the senior center director's position yet?
We are real close to that. We did interviews last week, so we're real close to that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments for the Recreation Director? Thank you, Tim. I'll now open the floor for audience participation. If anyone would like to address Wickliffe City Council, please stand, name and address for the clerk's record. Since these meetings are being recorded, use a microphone. Each person will have a 5-minute maximum amount of time. Would anyone like to address Wickliffe City Council? Would anyone like to address Wickliffe City Council? If not, I'll mark audience participation closed. Committee reports. Councilman Jaworski.
Thank you. Improvement Committee met on November 18th. Jaworski, Levon, Balaga, Hartstein, Thielman, and Koski were in attendance. Excuse Saloto. Others in attendance: Mayor Sakis, Engineer Formica, Service Director Strouser, and Assistant Service Director Krofcheck. Meeting called to order at 7:01 p.m. Purpose of the meeting was to discuss the 2025 road improvement program. The city has applied for OPWC funding and additional funding from the Lake County Department of Utilities. Utility Department told the city that we could get 38% for the Kerry Lane Parkwood Drive project. The city engineer ran the numbers, and it made more sense to do just Kerry Lane, not Parkwood. He needed to confirm that funding through the application would allow that to happen. He said Parkwood, there's a good chance it will receive funds from the county next year. Formica stated the city will get about $99,000 for concrete slab joint repair on East 300th Street. The city shares about $122,500. Councilman Hartstein questioned it cost of streetlight project, and Service Director Strouser said all the lights were replaced on the streets from the 2024 program. He will try to get an estimate from the electric company for the 2025 program. That the main streets get brighter LEDs than the side streets, and noted the cost will come out of the street lighting fund to cover those lights. Regarding Ridge Road, CT Consultants did the engineering of that project, but Formica explained that a law is now being enforced by that makes municipalities have to go to a third-party engineering firm to review the designs. As such, the city will need to hire an outside firm to go over CT's work and give their stamp of approval. This will likely cost around $20,000. The quotes will come in, and Strouser said they're searching for the bids. Councilman Ballard questioned why it's now, and Engineer Formica explained that this is happening all across the state. This was a law that was not being enforced, and they now are enforcing it. Strouser brought up that moving the utility pole on the sharp turn at East 300th Street and Ridge would cost about $20,000. And Formica said the sidewalk would be realigned and the wires would be moved to the east. It was recommended a total of about $1.1 million in work for the 2025 road improvement program. Councilman Hartstein said he wanted to add East 290 to the list of roads. Council President Levon asked about joint repair, and Formica said all the projects do include joint repair. He is also hoping NOACA will allow Euclid Avenue grind overlay and streetscape to happen in the same way, but they are unsure about that as well. The committee unanimously recommends the following projects to the Finance Committee. State Route 84 Bishop Road, from just north of Johnson to State Route 91 for a grind and overlay. NOAC and OPWC will cover 93% of the cost, which amounts to about $2.3 million. The city shares approximately $181,000. Concrete slab replacement on East 300th Street. OPWC will cover 45% of the cost, which amounts to about $99,900. The city shares $122,500. East 300th Street from Ridge Road to Euclid Avenue, grind and overlay. Project costs to the city about $539,000. East 300th Street and Ridge Road utility pole relocation. Project costs $20,000. Kerry Lane water main replacement and grind overlay and curb and gutter. OPWC will cover 38%, approximately $105,000. The city's share will be $173,400. And then East 290th from Euclid Avenue to Ridge Road, grind and overlay, project cost $408,800. The 2025 road program is reported out of committee, meeting adjourned 7:30. Respect.
We will move that 2025, or add the 2025 recommended road improvements into the Finance Committee. Any other committee reports? Any commission reports? Seeing no old business, move on to new business A, which is the 23rd, 2024 council meeting. I'll need to entertain a motion that we move that meeting to the December 16th.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hartstein, seconded by Councilman McCoskey to move the December 23rd, 2024 council meeting to December 16th, 2024. Discussion? Sandy, please.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Steelman.
Yes.
New business organizational meeting. I'm going to call to that organizational meeting for January 6th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in council chambers.
I'm sorry, Councilman, what day?
January 6th.
6th?
That's the first Monday in January. Okay. Then we'll move on to ordinances.
Ordinance number 2024-56. This is the second reading. An ordinance providing appropriations for expenses and other expenditures of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio for the period beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending March 31st, 2025.
Resolutions.
Okay, before I read the resolution honoring Ron, I wanted to extend my thanks as well and appreciation for all that you do and have done. I haven't been here as long as a lot of the other folks, but one of my first orders of business was a very difficult situation that you and I had to work on together. I think we worked well, made things better, kept them that way, so appreciate it, Ron.
Thank you. And thanks for your help in that.
Thank you. Resolution number 2024-18. A resolution recognizing Ron Strouser on his retirement from the Service Department of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, commending him for his dedicated service and wishing him good fortune and declaring an emergency. Whereas Ron Strouser has served as the City of Wickliffe Department for 38 years, and whereas Ron was born in Cleveland, Ohio on August 26, 1964. As a child, he lived on Regent Road in Wickliffe, and he attended kindergarten through 12th grade and graduated from Wickliffe High School. Whereas in 1982, Ron attended Ohio Diesel Tech School and received a diploma as a diesel mechanic. And whereas Ron began working for the City of Wickliffe in 1986 as a mechanic and was later promoted to head mechanic in the Service Department. And whereas in 2014, Ron moved into the role of Assistant Service Director and in 2020 was promoted to the position of Director of Public Service for the City of Wickliffe. Ron has served on the Parks and Recreation Commission and has devoted himself to the city proudly for 38 years in the Service Department. And whereas Ron is the beloved and devoted husband of 35 years to his wife, Shelley. He's the proud and loving father to their 3 boys, Jason, and he's dedicated to his sweet pit boxer mix, Toby. And whereas Ron enjoys hunting and fishing in his free time and enjoyed watching his boys participate in sports as they were growing up, especially wrestling and football. And whereas during retirement, Ron plans to complete construction on a new barn, restore his truck, and restore his son Steven's truck. He is also hoping to take a trip to Las Vegas in the near future.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilman McCoskey to suspend the rules of council and place Resolution 2024-18 on third and final. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Steelman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilman Thielman to adopt Resolution 2024-18. Discussion? Ron, I just want to thank you for all your years of dedication from starting off as a mechanic and then moving on to assistant service director to service director. Always very